Ping G425 LST versus Ping G430 LST. We are talking about two of the most popular low-spin drivers Ping has literally ever built. But honestly, only one of them actually deserves a spot in your bag.
Exactly, and here's the real twist. The newer one isn't automatically the better buy. In this explainer, you're about to see new money go head-to-head with old value in the low-spin category, and yeah, we're not holding back. So who takes the crown? Well, you're gonna have to wait and see.
Welcome back to Golf Gear Showdown, the explainer where we put golf gear head-to-head so everyday golfers can make smarter buying decisions. I'm Mike, the data guy.
And I'm Jake, the everyday golfer. Okay, picture this. You're standing in the golf shop, right? Both of these absolute heavyweights are just sitting there on the rack. The G430 LST is the shiny new toy, full retail price. And right next to it, the G425 LST, the previous generation, sitting there at a serious discount. You gotta pick one. Do you pay up for the brand new tech, or is the older one the smarter play? Let's figure it out.
All right, here's the scorecard for today. We're judging these two across 6 rounds. Distance and primary performance, forgiveness, accuracy and control, feel and sound, price and value, and finally, best fit by golfer type.
And hey, pay really close attention to round 3. It is the one round most amateur golfers completely overlook when they're buying a driver, and it almost always surprises people the most. Let's ring the bell.
Okay, round 1, distance and primary performance. So both of these drivers carry the LST badge, meaning low spin technology. They are specifically built for an efficient, penetrating flight path. If you're a guy who's ballooning your drives or just losing all your distance into the wind, this design intent is exactly what you're looking for. But diving into the specs, the G430 LST features a highly refined face design engineered for faster ball speed retention across the entire face. On paper, it just has a higher raw speed potential, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, Mike, on paper. But man, what does that actually mean for an average 15 handicapper swing? Look, if you have a repeatable but, not blistering swing speed, the real-world distance gap between these two is actually incredibly small. You aren't going to magically see a 15-yard jump out of nowhere. It's really just a touch more efficiency at the absolute top end of the swing speed spectrum.
That is a fair point, Jake. Still, because of that slight edge in theoretical top-end speed, I've got to award round 1 to the Ping G430 LST. But the huge caveat here is it really only wins this round if you actually have a fast enough swing speed to activate those gains.
All right, moving right along to round 2, forgiveness and why stability actually matters.
So LST drivers are the absolute lowest spinning models in Ping's lineup. That means they naturally punish bad swings a lot more compared to standard models. They reward really good dead center contact. But Ping really leaned into stability with the G430. The newer head is basically designed to hold up just a little bit better on off-center strikes. So if you catch it off the heel or the toe, the ball stays a bit more playable. Look, if you flush it dead center, you aren't going to feel a huge gap between the two. But let's be real here, most of us miss around the face.
Because it gives the everyday golfer just a little bit more grace on a bad swing. The G430 LST decisively takes round 2. But hey, before you decide this fight is over, round 3 is coming right up. It's the one most golfers completely overlook, and honestly, it might just be the most important round in this entire explainer.
Which brings us to round 3, accuracy, control, and shot shaping.
Now, when we talk about shot shaping and actually keeping the ball in play under pressure, most amateur golfers focus entirely on distance and totally forget about this part of the game. Both generations feature excellent movable weighting tracks to help you do exactly that. It literally lets you fine-tune your shot shape to a fade, a neutral setting, or a draw bias. It's a hallmark Ping strength, and it is fully present on both the older G45 and the newer G430.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, which option keeps more shots in play for a real golfer on a tight par 4? That is what really matters. And that makes this round a dead tie. The smarter comparison here isn't which one is naturally straighter, it's which one lets you dial in your specific miss. Control really just comes down to getting a proper fitting with your local pro, not whether you have the newest model year. It's a total wash.
Let's move over to round 4, feel, sound, and building confidence.
We are heavily getting into the psychological side of golf here. The way a club sounds at impact and looks at address can literally cost you strokes before you even take the club back. If a driver makes you nervous, you just aren't going to swing freely. The G425 LST gives you that classic, solid, kind of muted thwack that so many Ping players grew up absolutely trusting. On the flip side, the G430 LST has a completely tuned acoustic package. Ping really went to work on this, resulting in a crisper, much more satisfying crack at impact.
I'm edging round 4 to the G430 LST by a literal hair, just because that new sound is incredibly satisfying and builds immediate confidence. But I'll freely admit this is highly subjective. I mean, if you've got a buddy who swears by the G425's feel and already trusts it, you really can't argue with that kind of preference.
All right, round 5, price and value. New money versus old value.
Now let's pivot to the financial reality of this battle, because we aren't just comparing two drivers. We're comparing new money versus old value. And here's your smart shopper move for the day. You really have to ask yourself if the modest speed and stability gains of the G430 truly justify paying full retail over a previous generation discount. Often, checking certified pre-owned programs or just waiting for that model year clearance on the G425 is absolutely the best move you can make for your wallet.
Because of that, the value round goes clearly to the G425 LST. It is the absolute smart money pick right now. But hold on, because here is the part where we tell you exactly who should buy each one. And one of these answers is definitely going to surprise you.
Round 6, best fit by golfer type. All right, we've tallied the scorecard, and now we're going to reveal exactly who should buy what based on real scenarios. But first, a really strong warning. Buying any LST model just because it sounds like the better player choice is a massive mistake. If you actually need carry and forgiveness, an LST head will actively rob you of distance. You have to match the driver to your natural spin and never, ever ignore the shaft fit. A buddy of mine bought an LST with completely the wrong shaft and literally couldn't get it off the ground. Don't just copy the pros, play the gear that fits you.
So let's rapid fire the summaries before we lock in the final recommendations. On one side, the G425 gives you proven performance, a classic feel, and totally unbeatable value. But it's getting a lot harder to find brand new, and it does lack that tiny bit of extra face speed. The G430, on the other hand, gives you refined speed, great miss-hit stability, and a really fresh sound. But man, that high cost for those fairly modest gains is a really tough pill to swallow for the average guy.
All right, let's lock in the final scorecard. Faster swing speeds, chasing that absolute top-end performance? Go G430 LST. Mid-handicap or value buyers? G425 LST all day long. Slower swings and chronic slicers? Honestly, skip both of these and get a max model. And if you're hitting the used market, the G425 LST is king. Look, the G430 is the best overall performer, there's no doubt about it. But the G425 is the undisputed champion for value-conscious everyday golfers.
Ultimately, you gotta ask yourself, are you paying a premium just to impress your buddies on the first tee? Or are you buying the gear that's actually gonna help you shoot lower scores? All right, your turn. Are you team G425 LST or team G430 LST? Drop a comment below with your handicap, your swing speed, and your usual miss, and let's talk about what fits your game. And definitely let us know what showdown you want to see next. Thanks for tuning into this